being committed by those who are under court order to wear ankle monitors. WIS has reported on a handful of crimes where those being charged have cut their monitors off or just didn't charge them. And in some of those cases, they have resulted in cases that led to injury, even death.
Raising the question, how can people out on bond and wearing ankle monitors go for extended periods of time unnoticed?
Investigative reporter Derek Rush joins us now with more insight after talking with prosecutors, law enforcement, and digging into data to see really who's responsible for watching and monitoring these ankle monitors, especially when one has been disabled.
A layered question. Let's start at one of the examples. 7 people shot at a party in Orangeburg County. The sheriff, Leroy Ravenel, looking for 18-year-old Sincere Gibbs, who was supposed to be wearing an ankle monitor for a crime committed in Sumter County. But his monitor was cut, and the sheriff's office says his monitor had been dead for at least 2 weeks prior to that shooting. Here's one thing we do know. Tracking these monitors is not a streamlined process.
About ankle monitors, and I think people get this false impression that ankle monitors prevents crime.
There's a common thread.
We also had an ankle monitor on which he cut off.
She was wanted by the Department of Juvenile Justice for cutting off her ankle monitor.
He decided to cut his monitor off.
Criminals going for days unchecked.
Last month on the 12th.
Around January 12th.
After cutting their ankle monitors and committing new crimes. A 16-year-old cut her monitor in January and a few days later was arrested in connection to the death of 13-year-old Kanaya Baker, whose body was found in a vacant home in Columbia, 20 miles away from where she went missing. 7 people shot at a party in Orangeburg in March. The sheriff looking for 18-year-old Sincere Gibbs in connection to the shooting and telling us Gibbs's ankle monitor was cut, but it was also dead for 2 weeks prior to the shooting. So far, Gibbs is still on the run.
Somebody's supposed to be supervising that. Hopefully somebody knew that the ankle monitor wasn't on or wasn't working, so somebody should have been looking for him before now.
And 19-year-old Kyron Richardson, named just last week as a suspect in a shootout that took place inside Columbia Place Mall. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott saying Richardson cut his ankle monitor he was wearing. That was part of his bond agreement for a 2022 gas station shootout.
It's not working. They're not monitored. Nobody's reporting them, and they're not being picked up. So probably about the only thing the ankle monitor does is help us put people, bad guys, in certain areas when crimes are committed.
State law says that anyone monitoring a defendant must notify the solicitor in their jurisdiction within 48 hours of when they become aware the person violated terms of their monitored release. So who's keeping tabs on ankle monitors? And how come it goes unnoticed when they are tampered with? There isn't a simple answer. Those being held by the State Department of Justice, Department of Corrections, or Office of Probation, Pardon, and Parole have monitors through a contract between Colorado-based tracking company BI Incorporated. But Sumter County Solicitor Chip Finney says for Sumter, on the county level, tracking isn't streamlined.
The Sumter Detention Center, they have their own monitoring service. They monitor in-house, so to speak.
Court records show that Sincere Gibbs, who was on monitored release for armed robbery in Sumter, did not use the county monitoring service.
Well, the defendant and his family would contact a bonding company, and some companies have monitoring, some companies have to go in contract with monitoring services.
We're now working to find new information about the private company that issued Sincere Gibbs's monitor and gain access to that contract. We will also take a look at the actual tracking process and the process of notifying law enforcement and continue to look into this and ask more questions.